Judges chapter 2. I did this. Hang on. Do it. I thought about doing it, and then clearly I did not. So let's get right into it. Judges chapter 2. Hello, my name is Lydia, and I'm currently reading the entire Bible, chapter by chapter, day by day, until I get to the end of it. I started in James, and now I'm in Judges. Whoa, that's actually very far away. And I also took a break in the middle of Exodus, but by the middle I mean the end. And I read all of Joshua. This is all to say, I've read a whole bunch. Feel free to join me here, there, or anywhere. But for now, let's get into why you're here, which is Judges chapter 2. The angel of the Lord at Bochim. The angel of the Lord went up from Gilgal to Bochim and said, I brought you up out of Egypt and led you into the land that I swore to give to your forefathers. I said, I will never break my covenant with you, and you shall not make a covenant with the people of this land, but you shall break down their altars. Yet you have disobeyed me. Which is so... I noticed this in the last chapter. Instead of doing what they were supposed to do, which was to clear out Canaan, the land of milk and honey, and the surrounding area, all of the tribes were like, let's just settle next to you. Let's just cohabitate. And God said no. God instructed them no. You had 40 years to wander the wilderness just for you to get to do the thing, and you don't do the thing. What? Sorry, that was... Sorry. Anyway, back into it. You have disobeyed me. Why have you done this? Now, therefore, I tell you that I will not drive them out before you. They will be thorns in your sides, and their gods will be a snare to you. Warned. When the angel of the Lord had spoken these things to all the Israelites, the people wept aloud, and they called that place Bochim. There they offered sacrifices to the Lord. Maybe too little too late. Disobedience and defeat. After Joshua had dismissed the Israelites, they went to take possession of the land, each to his own inheritance. The people served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua and the elders who outlived him, and who had seen all the great things the Lord had done for Israel. Joshua, son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110, and they buried him in the land of his inheritance, at Timnath-Heres, in the hill country of Ephraim, north of Mount Gaash. After that whole generation had been gathered to their fathers even, just fathers, another generation grew up, who neither knew the Lord nor what he had done for Israel. Then the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord and served the Baals. They forsook the Lord, the God of their fathers, who had brought them out of Egypt. They followed and worshipped various gods of the peoples around them. They provoked the Lord to anger because they forsook him and served Baal and the Ashtoreths. In his anger against Israel, the Lord handed them over to raiders who plundered them. He sold them to their enemies all around, whom they were no longer able to resist. Whenever Israel went out to fight, the hand of the Lord was against them to defeat them, just as he had sworn to them. They were in great distress. Then the Lord raised up judges who saved them out of the hands of these raiders. Yet they would not listen to their judges, but prostituted themselves to other gods and worshipped them. Unlike their fathers, they quickly turned away from the way in which their fathers had walked, the way of obedience to the Lord's commands. Whenever the Lord raised up a judge for them, he was with the judge and saved them out of the hands of their enemies as long as the judge lived. For the Lord had compassion on them, as they groaned under those who oppressed and afflicted them. But when the judge died, the people returned to their ways even more corrupt than those of their fathers, following other gods and serving and worshipping them. They refused to give up their evil practices and stubborn ways. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel and said, because this nation has violated the covenant that I laid down for their forefathers and has not listened to me, I will no longer drive out before them any of the nations Joshua left when he died. I will use them to test Israel and see whether they will keep the way of the Lord and walk in it as their forefathers did. The Lord had allowed those nations to remain. He did not drive them out at once by giving them into the hands of Joshua. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today and for reading the Bible with me and for pouring into your own relationship with God. This is great stuff and I'm very happy for you. I pray that God blesses you abundantly today and tomorrow in case I do not post, but I do plan on posting tomorrow, so God willing, I will see you then. Aside from that, if you'd like to watch these videos in a clearer order, you can do so by checking out my YouTube channel, which is linked in my TikTok bio. But if you're already on my YouTube channel, thank you. Slay. Like and subscribe while you're there. But on my YouTube channel, there are playlists dedicated to each book of the Bible which I've covered, from James through to the end of Leviticus, and then from Joshua onwards. I will return to Numbers and Deuteronomy, but I just needed a break again, as I do. And they are in French, Spanish, and English, where French and Spanish are two languages which I learnt in school a few years ago, and I don't want to lose them. God willing, I'll be fluent eventually. And English is my first language. Like, comment, subscribe in both places, follow, all that jazz, and God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, God bless.